Greetings, greetings.
Greetings, Queen. Hello, all my royal people. This is DL Gidron, aka Dr. G, and you're watching Living Single Podcast. Listen, this is talk therapy. We got a lineup of 10 questions that they're going to answer. And everybody's answer is a little different because everybody's background, everybody's story is a little different. But I do believe that you're going to receive some quality wisdom and some tips that's going to help renew your mind and help transform your life as you go out there as a single. But listen, this show is for those who are single and satisfied, single and mingling, you're single and searching, but it's also for couples. There will be married couples and just those who are dating coming on here. There will be panels coming on here sharing from their experiences. And we're just glad that you're joining us. And we're going to go ahead and get on into it. Our guest today, would you please, my special guest, introduce yourself and tell us how old you are?
My name is Lashaun Williams, and I'm 54 years old. I'll be 55 this year.
Okay. When is your birthday?
It's September 27th.
All right, not too long away, not too long away. And now, what's your relationship status?
I'm single.
Okay, okay. Single and satisfied, single and searching.
I would say single and I would love a mate. So single and searching
And what? Searching or waiting? Okay, I got you. Listen,
for
let's go ahead and
sure.
get right. We're gonna go ahead and get right on into it, Queen. Our first question is, what are top red flags that you think singles um, should look out for when they're dating? What are like three top red flags?
um, Three top red flags. That's that's kind of difficult to answer. Um, for me, one of my red
Hmm.
flags is a person who is insecure, a person who doesn't know their worth or their value. That's a red flag for me. Um, I've been with that person and I know how that can cause problems in a relationship or trying to build a relationship. Um, um, Another red flag for me is a, having not having a solid relationship with your mom or the mother like person in your life. If if that
Hmm.
relationship is um, for me, if that relationship has um, if there's any lack in that relationship where you guys don't communicate or you guys don't even speak, for me, that's a red flag. Um, and a person, I don't know, a person who I feel is not honest, that's another red flag for me. A person who can't speak
Okay,
their own truth and live in their own truth, to me, is a red flag.
okay. Those are some good red flags, especially that honesty. Um, Moving on to our next question, and I love your answers. First of all, there's something to be said about a man and the way he treats his mother or the woman in his life, the first woman in his life. There's something to be said about that, that a lot of sisters should not do. Um, what are some of the difficulties and challenges that you find being single in today's society?
Um, I feel like there's too many um, ideas of what a relationship should look like. I think the two people that are communicating or trying to build a relationship, they should be able to plan that platform together. It shouldn't be, well, I think you should have excellent credit, or I think you should make six figures, or I think, because, if you get older, money comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else are you going to have to hold and build from? Um,
Mm.
so, that to me is an important thing for me.
Okay. 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 This may lead right into that. The third question is, you just lead right into it. What are some deal breakers that you've had or that you may have as a single woman? What are some deal breakers?
um, Deal breakers is if you're in another relationship, if you have a girlfriend or a wife,
Why? Okay, that's a deal breaker.
that's a deal breaker. That's a done dada.
No poly, no
No,
poly want a cracker.
no,
Okay,
no, no. You've
okay,
got to be a single person.
right.
that, that is the number one deal breaker for me.
Gotta be single. That's good.
Huh?
Okay, okay, okay. And that's it. As long as he's single, you good to go. No
Yeah.
other deal breaker.
Um, it's there's so many different levels to it. It's hard for me to say. I mean, if I had to be blunt, I'm heterosexual.
My signal. Can you hear me clear? Because my signal is
Yes.
sounding choppy.
Can you hear me?
You can hear me clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Okay, okay. Okay,
I'm
give me that one more
heterosexual.
time just in case the
Can you hear me now?
you're heterosexual. Yeah, you're
I'm
heterosexual.
heterosexual. I would like to be in a
Okay,
heterosexual relationship. But the problem I
okay.
find is there are men and women that choose to have their own story. And instead of living in their truth, once again, living in your truth for me, be honest.
Okay.
If you lying to me, that's just a big red flag. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Everything else you can work with. You can work with someone who, you know, is their income is maybe at a 50, $60,000. You don't know where that man is, where he's going or trying to build. So I don't knock a man that's trying to grow. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't want um, a man per se to be. Um, it's hard to say this, but I don't want a person who
Hey,
is not reformed from if they've been to through any criminal activity. I would prefer them to be reformed. I don't want them to still be
if they've been
actively
through what kind
living.
of
Yes, if they've been to
okay,
jail,
so right, okay, okay,
if they've been to jail, I want them to be reformed. I don't want them to want to
okay,
continue to do those negative things. Um,
right.
um, those are pretty much that's a pretty broad spectrum for me. So
Okay, okay, okay. And those are, I mean, those are valid, and definitely understandable, deal breakers. And one thing, I had a conversation with someone, that reminded me that based on people and where they are in life. Because are going to be different, you know, and because of where you are in your life, these deal breakers are, and now these deal breakers, are they, you firm on them, or, you know, if the brother was in jail and he's out but struggling a little bit, you're going to work with him with therapy and counseling, or you just no way.
Like I said, if he's reformed, if he's trying to work to better himself, I'm willing to give him that opportunity. You know,
Okay, okay,
I'm definitely willing
okay,
to
okay.
give a man an opportunity. I don't shut doors on any opportunity because you never know what
That's,
direction for me where God has me going. So I don't
you're
shut
right.
doors unless I know for a fact, hey, that door needs to be shut.
Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. Next question. Okay, you've heard, especially as a woman of God, that women are helpmates.
Yeah,
What does
that's
that mean to you, that for a woman being a helpmate? And do you see that in today's society?
For me, a helpmate means to support and uplift your spouse. Um, in society today, it's very minimal. There are some women that are out there that are willing to submit, and that word for women is very hard to say out of their mouths. It's submission. Um, our job as helpmeets is to be there and to support, pray over, balance the household, support the household, support the man. Um, if necessary, if you're a praying woman, pray over that man. If you have children in the home, help support that, help provide, help do the things that are necessary in the home. Um, it's also,
Hmm.
for me, it's necessary to maintain the home as a helpmeet. Um, um, be another thing as a helpmeet, you want to be able to listen, um, and also understand, don't feel, be able to speak to a person, and not speak down to them, encourage them even when they may have made a mistake. They are, men already feel beat down enough as it is. He should be like, man, I've had a
Hmm.
heck of a day. I can go home, and when I get there, I know it's nothing there but peace. Um, and in today's society, because we're being taught to be strong and to be, take care of yourselves and make sure you can provide for your families, and that wasn't the job that God designed us for. He really designed us to
Hmm.
be help. And I've had to learn myself, um, how to be more submissive as a woman to men because I was taught those same things. I was taught to be strong and be
Hmm.
independent and, hold down the house. And if your man can't do it, then you make sure you do it. That was the mentality that I grew up in. But I realized if I'm going to be the man in the house, then why would the man want to be there? you know? So I had to figure out a way to
Ah,
um, balance that masculinity that I carry and put it down, let the man be the man and be more submissive.
the masculinity you carry. Oh, we got to go on. There's a whole lot right there. I've not heard, I don't think I've heard a woman say or admit or acknowledge that she was carrying around masculinity that was creating a problem for a man. That's a lot right there. That's a lot. All right. Moving on to the next question. That was good. That's some good stuff right there. That's real. Hey, the next question is, you've heard that men are providers and protectors. What does that mean to you? And once again, do you see that? When you hear that,
Men,
what does that mean to you?
For a man to be a provider and protector, that means I don't have a need. He's providing those needs. Um, if there's something that's threatening our home or myself or our children, I feel like I should be able to go to him and he allow him to handle those situations. Um, those are two important positions that a man holds. So I just, as a woman, I would allow um, those him to have those positions and provide for his home and provide for his family and protect us as well.
So when it says a man being a provider, that's meaning to you financially or what? You said provide for his family. What does that mean? What does that look like to you?
I mean, not just financially, um,
Okay.
mentally, spiritually, physically.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He, they want 50-50 in a relationship. I don't want half of the man. I want 100% of him. So,
Oh, the whole man. She want the whole man. And the man gonna get the whole woman, right?
amen.
Want the
He gonna get
whole man.
100%.
Come on now. Come on now. That's all I can work on that right there. Whole man. Okay, okay. I got you. I got you. Okay, moving on to the next question. What are qualities? You better help somebody. What are qualities that singles should look for in a potential mate? What are qualities that they should look for in a potential mate?
um, I don't know how many more times I can say this. Is this a person, once a person shows you who they are, trust that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If a person shows you that they're consistently late, don't expect them to be on time. If a person tells you they're going to call you back, you can't be mad at them when you know that is their thing, not to call back. So you have to
The
definitely
MO.
look. Yes, you have to, look for the things that you value. I value consistency. I want to see you being consistent, and I want to see you being honest. If you can't do something,
Mm,
just say
good.
you can't do it. It's okay. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay if you can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. But let's move on to the
Mm-hmm.
next thing. Um,
Right.
those right there to me are the two biggest things. You can, as
Quality.
individuals, we can pick and choose through different values that we have. But in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, those two things right there are the two biggest things for me.
Okay. 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 I like that. I like that. What does it mean to settle? You've heard people say, I'm not going to settle, or somebody, the other side of that, there are people who said, I feel like I've settled with that person. What does it mean to you when you hear settle?
For me, settling is living in a relationship that is, for me, that is not going anywhere.
Okay.
It's not. It's not growing. We're not falling in love. We're literally falling apart. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're not communicating. Um, we're not really wanting to be in the same household. We're in separate rooms. It's, to me, that those are the things that let you know there's a problem.
That's settling for you.
Yes.
I know a lot of people have remained. They say they're remaining single because they hadn't found anyone to meet their list of 10 qualities or their checklist, and they
Yes.
feel like if you don't meet my checklist, or at least then I'm selling it. If I go for half, if you got half of it but not all of it, I'm selling it. So you don't feel that way,
Um,
or
some
like with your deal breakers, you
sometimes the things a man can come with some of those things. He can come with some of those qualities and still be able to you two will still be able to build a relationship. Um, the things that I've spoken about, um, they're I'm pretty solid on you've got to do these things. um, so for me, the things that I've spoken about, um, those are things that I just really wholeheartedly stand firm on. Um, there are other little small things that might be deal breakers, that you might could think of as an individual. But for me, I'm pretty open minded, so there's not a whole lot of um, things that I'm gonna say. No, I'm not gonna. I those are just that's just a no no. I'm willing to at least hear you out. If you can explain it to me and like they say, make it make sense, then, I'm willing to hear you out. I'm not going to close my ear to everything, but it's
right.
certain things that I will say, hey, that's it. No.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. We're down to the last three questions, and these questions go a little deeper. All right, based on where your perspective. Okay, so do you feel that the expectations that's put on single men in today's society is unfair? The expectations that women or society have of that single man, do you feel that's unfair?
Um, it's hard to say what society the expectation is, because society is like all over the place. They
Right.
don't
And
really
you know what?
have
And
a
excuse me, I was saying, and let me more so focus on women, that women put on society, that women put on expectation that women put on men. Do you think it's unfair?
um that's a hard one. It depends on the woman. um I my level of expectation is a man should provide. A lot of men feel like, well, I shouldn't have to. If you're strong will, you're healthy, you should be able to help provide for the household as well. They want, things are so different now, as far as the mindset of the man. So when you're bringing women into that mindset, it's difficult for them to be able to maneuver the way that they, maybe were raised or thought it should be. Um, the men in my family, they provided for the family. Period. The woman didn't have to go out and get a job, but the times were different than it is now, and I understand that. But again, I feel like in society, they have created such a big monopoly of people. So it's hard to say, hey, what is the expectation women have for men? Well, my expectation is this. Well, another woman's expectation is different. So it's really, really hard because it's open season when it comes to um, pointing out what women expect from a man. It's just too many
So have you,
levels to it.
right, right, right. Have you ever had a man to tell you that they felt pressured or weighted down because of what a woman was expecting of him? Six-figure income. I'm not saying I'm a gold digger, but I don't want to be with no broke. So
Uh huh.
based on that mindset, have you heard men complain or speak to the fact that they feel like too much is being expected of them, or is unbalanced or is not fair? What you've
See,
heard.
I don't. I'm not around enough. A lot of women that speak negatively about men. So it's very difficult
Okay.
for me to say that um, they want a man that makes six figures. They just want a man where they're secure. That's that's
Right, right,
that's
right,
what most women. For me, that's what I mean. Most women want. Period. Across the board, most women want to be secure. So, what does security look like for that woman? It's the woman, because the way I look at security is different. My security is making sure my heart is secure. If I give you my heart,
mm,
I want to know that it's secure with you. So
mm,
there's different levels to it. So it's for me. Now for someone
right,
else, they might be able to point and do this, but there's too many individuals, and with our
right,
thinking,
right,
it's too hard to say this is this, because the way I feel about a man, all women don't feel the same way. So
right, right,
it's
right, right,
it's
right.
hard,
And that's what
it's
we want
hard
your
to,
perspective. Mhm.
yeah, it's hard for me to say, men are, in Atlanta or this, or men are overall throughout the world or this. Because you've got some pretty great guys out there, and you've got some pretty buttheads out there too. So it just depends,
Yeah.
on
What?
what you've been, walked into, or what you've had to deal with.
Yeah. But like you said, everybody has a different expectation. Some people, they expect something more emotional, and then you may find another woman who expected something more materialistic.
Right.
And so,
Absolutely.
and from your perspective, what you're expecting from the man has to do more so from a character and an emotional standpoint.
A- Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving on to our last two questions. What are sisters, women, ladies doing today in today's society that's um, bringing disrespect to themselves? What do you think? What do you see that women are doing that brings disrespect to themselves, or how are they allowing themselves to be disrespected? How have you seen them disrespecting themselves or allowing themselves to be disrespected?
Um, I just feel like some of the things that come out of women's mouths, the things that we say, they're very they sting. And our mouths were really meant to uplift one another. So us as women, um, and I can say, because I'm a black woman, black women, we have to learn how to be able to communicate amongst one another without um, without the sting, without the hurt, or saying something to someone where they feel less than or disrespected. To me, that is one of the things that I feel we as women need to work on. Another thing is not allowing our bodies to speak for us.
Mm.
Um, I understand there are women that have absolutely beautiful bodies in all different shapes and colors. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying anything negatively about anyone because I've been on both sides of the field. I've been a size 18 and now I'm a size 3. So I've been on both sides. And
Come
I
on.
can say,
Come
I
on,
can,
somebody. Talking about Weight Watchers. Keep going.
I can say there needs to be a level of respect that we carry for ourselves. Um, there's just a matter of when we grew up as young ladies, we used to wear dresses and slips and, camisoles and things like that, to, make sure we were appropriately covered. And um, in those times,
Do they still sell those things?
it didn't stop the relationships, women had with men. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Excuse me. Do they still sell those things?
Yes, they do. They sure
I,
do.
ain't nobody out there wearing
Yeah, okay. um, and I remember us having just walking through back in the days where there was just a level of respect that we held for ourselves. And I didn't have to show any part of my skin to get the attention. It was the man knew the character and the mind of the woman. Now, I'm not going to say back then we didn't have those same type of what we call loose women.
them. Mm.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to say it wasn't those women back in the day either.
Always
But
had
what
loose
I
ones.
am saying is there was just a level of respect that we had for ourselves that I feel like we have truly lost as a whole, as women. We feel like it's okay to be less and skimpy and just give it to it all. But I remember back in the day when grandma and great aunties used to say, well, if you're going to give them, the whole cow, why they going to buy the milk?
Mm,
you
mm,
know,
mm,
you
mm.
know.
Come on
So
now.
so if I'm going to give you the whole thing, what makes, why would I want to make that a permanent piece in my life when
Yeah.
you've given this to everybody? Everybody's seen this, everybody's had a piece of this. There's nothing that
Ah,
I can say is mine of value as a man in a relationship. And I've
yeah.
heard lots of men say that. They're
Right.
like, I want my woman to be classy in the street, but I want her to be something else in the sheets, so
What? I heard it. What
so
is it?
So, you know, we need to get back to being those classy ladies in the streets. And then we can be them other thing else's in the sheets.
I got you. I got you. I get. You know what? I think we better move on. To the last one, right quick. There is somebody out there who understands exactly what you're talking about. Um, so the last question is how important. This is a real serious question because of a lot that's going on now with mental health and people having baggage and going in, to relationships. But how important do you think it is for people to be self-aware and transparent about their personal flaws before pursuing a relationship?
I think that's very important. It's very important to get the help that you need before you step into something serious, because what could happen is you could lose that person with the trauma that you already had or gone through. I'm one of those people that have been through, um, I'm going to say, an extremely extreme amount of trauma as a youth. And I carried that through two marriages, and I'm single now. So I had to take some time and work on myself. I had to seek therapy. I also had a life coach. So I had to go and find out who LaShawn was so I could be a better representation of myself when I was interacting with people, just in general. And then once I realized, um, my position as a woman, I then was able to say, okay, now I'm willing and ready to engage in a relationship with someone, because now all the broken pieces of the puzzle are now have become a book. Instead of it being broken pieces, it's a book. So
Mm,
there's volumes to it now, and the layers and levels they're open, they're not closed, and they're not afraid of what people think. um, they are receptive to um, criticism,
mm,
um, um, and they're really willing to balance and work on themselves,
right,
because it took that for me. I had to do the work in order to be able to feel whole in a relationship, because I found myself trying to find value for myself through my mates.
right. And you do admit that you have some flaws, and
Absolutely.
you are transparent with your flaws. With um, you would be transparent with your flaws going into a relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people are not self-aware enough to realize that if it is a flaw, they wouldn't identify it as one, or even to be able to acknowledge it. Pride gets in the way sometimes. But yeah, I'm an advocate of therapy. I still go. I started in October 2020. I yet go now. It's a beautiful thing. I recommend it to everybody. Once you go through therapy, you think everybody needs therapy, because it becomes a good place for you to get tips and tools, a good place, I call it, to release and receive, and it just makes you a better person for yourself and for that person you're pursuing.
Absolutely.
Listen, LaShawn, I thank you. You have been an awesome guest. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for your experiences that has allowed you to just give us the quality answers that you've given us. Thank you for being our guest here on Living Single.
You're welcome.
You are truly a queen, and your king. I speak your king on you. I
I
speak your king on
received
you.
that. I
I
received that.
I speak your king on you. So we're about to get up out of here. But listen, audience, I just appreciate all of you for tuning in. Make sure and check our previous episodes out and keep watching for the future ones. We're talking to couples who are married, unmarried, people who are single, people who are divorced. We're talking to everybody just to have them to answer these 10 questions. If you would like to be a guest and take a stab at these questions, please let us know. You can reach us at 44901-8591. The information will be at the end. But I just thank you for tuning in. God bless you all. I give you nothing but all of my love for all of you. Have a good one now.